MMORPGs continue to be one of the most popular genres in gaming, and it's easy to see why. They blend open-world exploration, deep character progression, social systems, and large-scale combat into living worlds you can jump into anytime, now fully accessible on mobile with visuals and features that rival older PC titles. So today, we're back with another top 10 new MMORPGs for Android and iOS, covering fresh releases and upcoming titles worth keeping on your radar. Let's jump right in. Starting off with number 10, we have Yule Gang Retro. Yule Gang Retro is a cute, anime-styled MMORPG based on the classic PC game Yule Gang, where you explore an open world, pick from familiar classes like swordsman, doctor, or archer, and take part in everything from boss hunts and faction wars to trading, fashion collecting, and even in-game marriages. Like many older school mobile MMOs, players often point out issues such as heavy grinding, reliance on autoplay, and systems that can feel a bit dated or cluttered compared to newer action-focused RPGs. But the game really shines with its charming art style, nostalgic martial arts theme, lively social features, and faithful recreation of the original PC experience that longtime fans appreciate. If you're into classic MMO gameplay with a light-hearted wuxia vibe and lots of social activities, this one's worth checking out. By the way, ever wonder how I discover new mobile games? I've actually been using an app called Skich Store, and the best comparison I can make is it's like Spotify and Tinder had a baby, but for mobile games. Skich Store is an alternative mobile games store that's built purely around discovering games you'll actually enjoy, not whatever's being pushed by ads or paid promotions. It's completely ad-free, has over 240 different game genres, and it learns what you like as you use it. What I really like is how discovery works. You literally swipe through games like cards, Tinder style, and the app starts tailoring recommendations to your taste. You can follow friends, creators, and curated game lists, check out honest reviews, and even pre-register for upcoming games so you get notified the moment they launch. And because Skich Store takes a lower cut from developers, it actually helps more unique and creative mobile games get discovered. Skich Store is available worldwide on Android, and you can download it directly from their official website. The link and QR code are right here and in the description. If you're on Android and tired of the same recycled game recommendations, definitely check out Skich Store and start discovering games that actually match your vibe. Next up at number 9, we have TriwarM Global. TriwarM Global is a war-focused MMORPG for mobile that throws you into a fantasy land where 3 warrior types from different regions battle it out in regular matches, grand matches, boss fights, and faction sieges while you grow your character, trade with others, and take part in politics and guild warfare. It's clearly inspired by old-school PC online MMOs, but the actual player reception on Android is rough. The game has a very low rating on Google Play, and people have complained about clunky UI, autoplayer, and navigation issues, and some rough visuals that feel less polished than you might expect. But the game does deliver huge multiplayer battles, a pretty deep economic/political layer, and reward systems that let even non-paying players get something out of participating in PvP and events, which can be fun if you're into organic player interaction. If you're into MMORPGs with big faction wars, strategic guild play, and don't mind a rough around the edges mobile experience, this one might be worth a look. At number 8, we have Ruler of the Land. Ruler of the Land is a mobile MMORPG based on the classic martial arts series Yule Heal Kang Ho, where you pick a class like Blademan, Healer, or Ninja and grind your way through quests, dungeons, faction PvP, and gear upgrades in a big shared world. Like a lot of mobile MMOs, players often point out familiar downsides, such as heavy autoplay, lots of menus and systems thrown at you early on, and progression that can feel grindy or nudges you towards spending if you want to keep up in PvP or guild wars. But the game does a solid job capturing that old-school wuxia vibe with flashy martial arts skills, faction choices that actually affect gameplay, and plenty of cosmetic and class progression to keep things interesting over time. If you're into traditional MMO loops with an Eastern martial arts theme and don't mind some mobile MMO baggage, this one's worth a look. Sitting at number 7, we have Raven 2. Raven 2 is a dark fantasy mobile MMORPG that leans heavily into cinematic storytelling, flashy combat, and large-scale PvP with a bunch of distinct classes ranging from assassins and berserkers to casters and gunslingers. It's very much a modern mobile MMO experience, and players often point out familiar drawbacks like aggressive upgrade systems, lots of menus and currencies to juggle, and progression that can feel pay-heavy if you want to stay competitive in PvP or guild wars. But the game really shines when it comes to presentation, with Unreal Engine visuals, intense combat effects, and big guild battles that feel more ambitious than most mobile titles. If you're into dark fantasy MMORPGs with high production values, lots of classes, and don't mind the typical mobile MMO grind, this one's worth a look. Coming in at number 6, we have Teon Revelation. Teon Revelation is a mobile MMORPG set in a dark fantasy world where you explore, fight monsters, join clans, and take part in large-scale PvP while building your character through flexible stats, gear choices, and player-driven trading. Like many open-world MMOs on mobile, players often mention downsides such as heavy grinding, complex systems that can feel overwhelming early on, and PvP environments where stronger or more invested players can dominate newcomers. But the game does a good job leaning into social play with a real player-based economy, meaningful clan interaction, and risk-reward combat that makes the world feel dangerous and alive. If you're into MMORPGs that focus on PvP, trading, and community-driven gameplay rather than pure solo play, this one's worth a look. Moving on to number 5, we have Legends of Ymir. Legend of Ymir is a mobile MMORPG built around Norse mythology, sending you into a Ragnarok-inspired world where you fight through story quests, seasonal content, and large-scale battles while shaping your character's growth path over time. From early player chatter and general MMO expectations, some common concerns are that it may demand fairly high device specs because of its Unreal Engine visuals, lean on auto systems despite its action-focused combat, and fall into the usual grind-heavy progression that seasonal MMOs often bring. But the game does stand out with its strong mythological theme, evolving season system that keeps content from feeling too static, and combat that tries to feel more tactile with hit confirm and evade mechanics. If you're into visually ambitious MMORPGs with Norse lore and don't mind a bit of grind for long-term progression, this one's worth a look. Up next at number 4, we have Sword of Justice. Sword of Justice is an open-world mobile MMORPG set in an Eastern fantasy world where you're free to explore, fight, craft your own combat style, or just chill with activities like fishing and trading, without being locked into strict classes or paths. While the game talks a lot about fairness and freedom, players tend to be skeptical of big, no-pay-to-win promises, and some common concerns floating around are whether the ambitious systems, smart NPCs, and high-end visuals will actually run smoothly on most phones, or end up feeling overwhelming once all the mechanics pile up. But the game does push player choice, skill-based combat, seasonal resets, and a living world that reacts to what you do instead of forcing you into endless grind loops. If you're into open-world MMORPGs that focus on freedom, experimentation, and a more skill-driven approach rather than wallet-driven progress, this one's worth a look. Next up at number 3, we have Duet Night Abyss. Duet Night Abyss is a mobile fantasy action RPG that focuses on fast, stylish combat, letting you swap between melee and ranged weapons on the fly while experiencing the story from 2 different character perspectives in a world where magic and tech collide. From early impressions and general player discussions around test builds, some common worries include the combat feeling a bit overwhelming at first because of all the weapon systems, occasional performance drops during intense fights, and lingering skepticism from players who are cautious about how free unlock systems might evolve over time. But the game really shines with its smooth hack-and-slash action, flexible weapon loadouts, and a darker, more interesting narrative angle that sets it apart from more generic anime-style RPGs. If you're into action-heavy RPGs with lots of combat freedom, flashy weapons, and a story-driven world to dig into, this one's worth a look. Down in number 2, we have Aion 2. Aion 2 is an upcoming mobile MMORPG that builds on Aion 1, centering around large-scale PvE and PvP, open-world exploration, and its signature aerial combat where flight plays a big role in both fighting and traveling. Since it's a sequel to a long-running MMO, a lot of player chatter comes with cautious expectations. Some fans worry about how well classic PC-style systems like massive worlds, complex combat, and large dungeons will translate to mobile, while others are concerned it could lean too heavily into autoplay or monetization like many modern mobile MMOs. But it's looking like it's aiming high with a huge world, deep character customization, skill-based combat mechanics, and a strong focus on flying that really sets it apart from most mobile RPGs. If you're into MMORPGs with epic scale, faction warfare, and the idea of full 3D aerial combat on mobile, this one's worth a look. And finally, at number 1, we have Where Winds Meet. Where Winds Meet is an open-world action RPG for mobile that leans heavily into classic wuxia fantasy, letting you roam a huge historical China-inspired world, uncover stories, choose how honorable or chaotic you want to be, and fight using fluid martial arts combat with a wide range of weapons. Based on early player discussions and general expectations around games of this scale, some common concerns are whether such a massive, detailed world will run smoothly on mobile, if the sheer amount of systems and activities might feel overwhelming, and how well the balance will hold up between solo play, co-op, and MMO-style content. But the game really stands out with its strong wuxia atmosphere, freedom-driven gameplay, stylish movement like rooftop parkour and wind stride travel, and combat that looks more skill-focused than typical auto-heavy mobile RPGs. If you're into open-world action RPGs with martial arts flair, story-driven exploration, and lots of player choice, this one's worth a look. And that's all for this lineup. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I really appreciate you hanging out and checking out these MMORPGs. If you enjoyed the list or found a game you're excited about, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. As always, let me know in the comments which game caught your eye, and I'll see you in the next one.